Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. I was working on the Nightwing video for the new issue of Nightwing coming up. I was working on Dark Crisis, but Dark Crisis isn't at a good point yet. Like, it's nothing but prelude to Dark Crisis, and yeah, there's nothing good about any of those preludes because the actual first issue is going to deal with pretty much both those preludes, the road to and the actual thing of Dark Crisis, will more likely be in issue 1, so screw it. And Nightwing issue 92 is finally starting to promise that, hey, next issue will actually get the story going. But anyway, so I was stuck. The tier list video for Disney remakes isn't ready yet. Neither is the Doctor Who ranking video. All this I need to get done soon because I'm going to be out of town at some point around in a couple weeks. So yeah, we need to get that done. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was Kenobi. And I wasn't actually planning on talking about Kenobi. But it was out. This time I wasn't like a whole season behind with The Mandalorian. Just to find out The Mandalorian doesn't really appeal to me. It's just Luke in a hallway. That's kind of it. Not gonna lie. And with Kenobi, I know Kenobi. Like, I know Obi-Wan. I'm not gonna lie. To me, Star Wars is at its best when it's two morons going at it with light brights. Alright? That's it. That is it. And they wave their hands and stuff moves. That's Star Wars to me. This metaphorical battle of good versus evil through literal light and dark. Yeah, it's to me that is Star Wars. So seeing Kenobi sort of falls into the trap of what I don't like Disney Star Wars doing, which is sort of treading around this sort of prequel era mess. Because basically that's what Kenobi is. It's a prequel era story. It's designed to set up the original trilogy, because they botched the sequel trilogy so bad that they're not quite ready to come up with new material set in the future with new characters. Anyway, so coming up to this, I will say this. 3 episodes into Kenobi, and this is a better take on Last Jedi Luke. Last Jedi Luke was a hot mess of a character. His story essentially was told backwards, and he came off as like a very terrible, unlikable character, at least for me. And it was even worse because, well, this was Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master. I'd read, the books after that where, he wasn't perfect. He had his own trials and tribulations. He had moments where he doubted himself, and moments where he made bad calls and people suffered for it. So yeah, but he always got back up and kept going. Took some time longer than others, but Luke never gave up at the end of it. And Last Jedi Luke, well, we've gone over enough, but he spends most of his time hiding out, avoiding his responsibility with no plan to make things better, while his nephew goes around destroying everything in his path to find him. It's not good at all. Kenobi starts off with, well, he's broken down. It's kind of like I'm looking after Luke, and he wants to eventually train him, help him manage his gifts, and he seems to want to do it not for the right reasons. I think Owen is right in that he wants to train Luke to make up for his failures with Anakin. Still not right for Owen to throw that in his face that, hey, you trained Anakin, how'd that work out? That's not fair, but you do sort of get that's what Kenobi feels. He feels that he's let Anakin down, he's let everyone down, and his confidence is shaken. That's why throughout this story he has such trouble sort of even trying to save Leia. I think any other time Kenobi, Obi-Wan would have gone like, yeah, I got you, we'll save her and I'll be right back. He might be a bit ill at ease about leaving Luke alone, but Bail might hang out and keep an eye on him or whatnot. There's always another option. But at the same time, the problem is I think this is too early. Or rather too late. Too late is the right phrase. Because this is supposed to be, 9, 10 years? Well, 10 years if Leia's 10. And yeah, it's been 10 years. So, going by what's going on here, Kenobi has spent 10 years not really keeping his force abilities up to notch, which I'm guessing means no meditation. He hasn't been able to contact Qui-Gon, so has he ever been able to contact Qui-Gon? And like all these years, I'm willing to bet the season ends with him talking to Qui-Gon. Calling it now. That'll be it, but if you think about 10 years, he was given special training. Like, look, you're going to talk to Qui-Gon, and he's going to help you transcend the material plane with the Force. That's training he should be doing, which should also keep his Force abilities up. But this seems to be like he's almost like quasi cut himself off from the Force, in the sense that, he's not using it. And he also doesn't want to be sensed, pretty much. Like, if he uses the Force in any particularly large way, it might be picked up by the Inquisitors, but hey, they're already here. The weird thing is that he doesn't know about Vader. The reason is, some people say, like, well, he doesn't know that Anakin Skywalker is Vader. He does. Legitimately, this scene here.
Well, my new apprentice. Now, Lord Vader, go and bring peace to the Empire.
I can't watch anymore.
So yeah, he knows. I think some people don't like the fact that he's running from Vader in the most recent episode, but I think that sort of makes sense. In addition to that, he needs to buy time for Leia to get away. He also isn't ready to face him. Like, this Kenobi has been out of practice. He's also not emotionally ready to face his fallen student, the student he failed. And that's what Vader is. And Vader has spent the entire 10 years adjusting to his new reality, where I think Kenobi spent the most time almost denying it in some ways, sort of wallowing in it. He doesn't take the time to get better. They're both Kenobi and Anakin, or Vader in this case, are like Jaime Lannister when he loses his hand. And oddly enough, the Emperor served as Anakin's brand of Tarth that situation. Look, yeah, you lost your hand and your legs and your arm, actually your whole arm, and you got like second, third, you got a bunch of birds on you. You need this machine to live, but you know what? You're still alive. You can do better. All right. Kenobi doesn't have that, which is weird because he has a potential student to look after. He has training to do. There's still a chance that they can fix all of this, not fix it, but endure all of this and set everything right where it's supposed to be. So, yeah, his interactions with Leia, who I think she's a great character. I like that there's a bit of a nice mix of her father and mother. Like, she has her mother's sort of wit, but her father's temper in a lot of ways. Then there's the elephant in the room, which is Reva and the Inquisitors. So what I've learned in this is, well, two things. When in doubt, Disney will play the racist card. Not to say that the actress who's playing Reva probably has not received any form of harassment. It's the internet. All right, remember when celebrities used to read their mean tweets on television? That's pretty much what I think she gets. Or it's probably some legitimate just assholes out there who are racist out there and harassing her. Totally fine. Totally fine. I have no problem saying that is happening. No problem condemning that outright. Yeah, but I will not stand to hear it from Disney. All right, about racism. Leave us not forget the Chinese posters and Chinese trailers for the sequel trilogy, which totally removed Finn from any mention of it. Yeah. Not to mention, more likely, why Finn was downplayed, why his entire story is neutered, and he's made pretty much a joke after The Force Awakens. Actually, from The Force Awakens to Last Jedi to Rise of Skywalker, he is a joke, and I believe that was mostly done to appease the Chinese market. So people say, well, it's not as bad to pander to racists than it is to be a racist. I'm like, the two things kind of are the same, are kind of equally bad, all right? Because instead of calling out the racist behavior, you're catering to it. You're catering to a culture that has sort of a racist undertone towards other people of color. So, yeah, I'm not going to hear it from Disney. Ewan McGregor coming out and saying, like, yeah, fine, sure, whatever. I don't care. My issue with Reva is pretty much the fact that she seems plot protected. What I mean is, so this is a prequel series. By default for prequel series, you have plenty of characters who are protected. In the Kenobi series, by default, we know that Kenobi will not die. We know Luke will not die. We know Leia will not die. We know Bail Organa presumably will not die. I'm not sure when he died. I think he was on Alderaan when it went boom boom. I think that's when he died. I thought he might have died before then. But either way, those should be the only characters who the story should work hard to make us think they're not going to make it. Really wish we got more of Luke, but whatever. Reva has the problem of she's getting a lot of things set up just because the story says she can. So when she's on Tatooine, she just decides to interrogate Owen Lars, like, hey Owen, about you seen a Jedi around here? I'm like, wow, that is oddly specific that you just got here, and you automatically know that Owen might know something about the Jedi. That is just weird. And then she does what? Like, goes on like Bail Organa's Spacebook page, and found out, hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi liked his birthday. He must know his daughter. So let's kidnap his daughter, hoping that Bail will contact Kenobi, and she gets to be right about all of this. And it's so terrible that this character gets to be right about everything. This was like the same problem with the sort of back and forth with Hux and Kylo Ren with Supreme Leader Snoke. Like, hey, Kylo Ren gets to be right about all this, and Hux just gets to be the joke. Like, why? Where's the struggle for Reva? What the struggle is? What, the other Inquisitors don't like her? Well, duh. Of course they don't like her. She gets to be right about everything, gets away with everything. She's so over the top. Like, this was done better in Jedi Fallen Order with Trilla. Alright, Trilla's everything Reva wants to be. Alright? She's got the nice dark and twisted aspect to her. We sense a sort of tragic story to her. And she's also incredibly frightening. Reva isn't frightening. She's just clearly trying to prove something to, I guess, Darth Vader, who should really not care about Reva. Is Reva somehow uniquely powerful, has some unique talent? I don't think so. Her desire for Kenobi seems kind of out there. It's like, I need Kenobi. Why? Because I know that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker, and Anakin Skywalker super hates Obi-Wan Kenobi because of what happens in Episode 3. Then again, I should definitely hate Anakin for what he did in Episode 3, but, you know, whatever. I'm twisted by the dark side, so I'll let it go. You know, that does happen. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. My problem is I want to like Reva as a character. I don't. Her character's not selling it, and I think most people want to blame the actress. I don't think it's the actress. I think it's legitimately the script, which says, I'm right, because the script says I'm right. There was no real struggle, except, once again, a bunch of white people are doubting me, a woman of color. I'm like, oh my god, stop it. Stop it. Racism is not the issue in Star Wars. Speciesism is the issue in Star Wars. Well, actually, no. If you view racism in terms of color, yes, I believe that issues on the Twi'lek homeworld, where Twi'leks come in a variety of different colors. There's a problem there. I think Zabraks are all brown. Nautilans are all green. I believe Mon Calamari is all that brownish color. Ithorians are the nice brown. Whipheads are gray. Wookiees are usually brown or gray, but that's not an issue. Zeltrons are hot pink, and I like that. But yeah, that's kind of it. I want to like the Kenobi series. I want to know there's a Star Wars series out there for me in the Disney franchise. And so far, they haven't given me one. They've given me 3 sequels, three movies that I did not like. They've given me a High Republic series, which couldn't keep my interest past the first 2 chapters. They've given me comics that felt unnecessary, even the ones that were particularly good felt totally unnecessary. A cartoon show that really didn't do the job either, despite some really interesting moments. And also decanonized a bunch of stories that had no reason to be decanonized. How the hell is Darth Plagueis decanonized? How the hell is Labyrinth of Evil, which is the story that sets up the events of Revenge of the Sith, decanonized? Oh, I just don't. Anyway, we're done. We're done whinging for the day. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, like, comment, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.